أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واحشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين المنتقبين، لا سيما بعد. أما بعد فقد قال: إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah Azza wa Jal Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Subhanahu Tabarak wa Ta'ala, in his final testament says that the deen, the religion which is accepted, which is desired, which is wished, which is liked by Allah Azza wa Jal is Islam. Islam is Aziz, because it is Aziz to Allah, it is loved by Allah. Allah has desired it to be the perfect deen. Allah has liked it the most, so it should be Aziz for us. This is our 24th episode on Shia'ism, the natural outcome of Islam. We see in the Islamic doctrine that sometimes in the matter of ijtihad wal istinbat, we take the help, of course, as a basic root, we can say, ROOT is Al-Quran Al-Hakim. And in the light of Quran Al-Hakim, we try to understand Hadith Nabawiyya and explain, we can call it exegesis, the Tafseer. It is also possible that the mouth and the tongue from whom we received Al-Quran Al-Hakim and Hadith Nabawi, the Sunnah, and Hadith Qudsiyah, we all received only from one tongue, from one mouth. What a grand person of trust of Allah he will be, that from the same mouth he has rolled out through Rasulullah, rolled out what is said to be Quran, the word of challenge, Maqam al-Tahaddi, and Hadith, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ, and between them is Hadith Qudsiyah, which are Kalam Ilahi, but they are not in Maqam al-Tahaddi like Quran. The trust of Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which is beyond our comprehension here, is that from the same tongue and mouth we are hearing him saying, this is Quran, this is Ayat Sharifa Quran, this is Hadith Qudsi, and this is his saying. Can anyone doubt in this, in a nano degree of any misappropriation, ma'adallah, that to any ayat of Quran he may say that this is his ayat, and any of his saying he would say this is Hadith Qudsi or ayat? It is never. If ever we think for a fraction of a second, a nanosecond, we become out of Islam. That is the trust Allah Azza wa Jal has put in Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now this Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam says we received all these three from one source of Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and nobody can check and confirm, because it is a matter of trust of Amin al-Sadiq Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his memory and his trust in remembering what has come to him from Allah as ayat. He said ayat. It was his memory also. And whatever has come as Hadith Qudsi has said, Hadith Qudsi, it is a memory test also, and memory confirmation also, strong memory. And whatever he has said under وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. So in the light of this, we can also understand Ahadith Nabawiyah from Quran Hakim as well. As we do the Tafseer of Quran Majeed AYAT through Ahadith Nabawiyah, we can also understand Ahadith Nabawiyah in the light of Quran Hakim wal Majeed, because the union of understanding, of knowing, of closeness is such that Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Man yuti'illah faqad ata'a man yuti'ir Rasul faqad ata'a Allah. Whoever has obeyed the Rasul, he has obeyed Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is ayat, Surah An-Nisa, ayat number 80. So today we are discussing in the light of one hadith which is accepted by all denominations of Muslims, and that hadith is Aliyum ma'al Quran wal Quran ma'al Ali. Ali is with Quran and Quran is with Ali. So let us ponder over this hadith and try to trace out the meaning of Shia'ism, the natural outcome of Islam, in the light of this hadith. We find in Quran Hakim, in the light of this hadith, we will ponder over two ayat. And one is which says, this is Surah Al-Hijr, ayat 87, chapter 15, ayat 87. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِ وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. And we have bestowed upon thee the seven oft repeated. Seven oft repeated means 7, 7. They come to 14. 14 and min al-mathani wal Quran al-Azim. That is waw atf, that is and, which is separating one to the other. That is on the one end, that is Sab'an al-Masani, that's 7 plus 7, 14, and it is in conjunction making to Quran al-Azim. So Quran al-Azim is other on the other end, and Sab'an al-Masani is on other end. So these two are conjoined by waw atf here, which is and. Now it means that this 14, 7 plus 7, 14, and Quran are together from Allah's Hidayat. In Tafsir it has come, this 7 plus 7 has come for making a mention of Surah Al-Hamd has revealed, which has revealed 2 times. Yes, that is correct. But for every tafsir, for every ayat, it is possible that there may be many explanations, not just one. So one of the explanations is that the Surah Al-Hamd revealed 2 times. It is there, it's a fact. But the other one, the meaning hidden within is also the 7 plus 7, 14, the 14 Ahl al-Bayt and Quran Majeed. The second evidence we can produce is when we look to the Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayat number 14, we find Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا نَصَارَى أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَهُمْ فَنَسُوا حَظًّا مِمَّا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَأَغْرَيْنَا بَيْنَهُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَسَوْفَ يُنَبِّئُهُمُ اللَّهُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ. From those two who call themselves Christians, we did take a covenant, but they forgot a good part of the message that was sent them. So we estranged them with enmity and hatred between the one and the other on the day of judgment, and soon will Allah show them what it is they have done. So here it says, the Ayah Sharifah says, وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى, about their Misa. Then the next ayat says, Ya Ahlal Kitab, O people of the book. which covers to all people of the book. قد جاءكم رسولنا يبين لكم كثيرا مما كنتم تخفون من الكتاب ويعفو عن كثير قد جاءكم من الله نور وكتاب مبين. Here the Ayat Sharifa says that, O people of the book, there had come to you our messenger revealing to you much that you used to hide in the book and passing over much that is now unnecessary. There had come to you from Allah a light and a perspicuous book. The question here is, it is mentioned to Ahlul Kitab, and what is mentioned to them is Rasulullah Karam Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam through this Ayah Sharifa is introducing what he has brought and what he is telling to Ahlul Kitab, that he is saying that he brought two things. One, Noor, the light, the guidance, the Noor, and the other, the book. So we find the book is mentioned in the second place. In the first place is the light. What is the reason behind that? If we look to the miraculous arrangement of words, we find that in the first place to read any book, we need first the light, book in the letter stage. Because if we get the book first and there is no light, we cannot read. So there will be a fraction of time when the book will be there, but it will be unreadable. But if you want to make the book always readable, it is incumbent upon that light be first arranged, light be sent first, in the light of which the book that is to come, by the time of its inception, by the time of its coming, by the time of revelation, right from that time itself, it must be readable. So no fraction of time remains after the coming of book where mankind can say that book was there but we were unable to read, and during that course somebody has passed away, died. Although book was there but he could not get the guidance. Now, why the light is mentioned? Because we know that we see only with the light. First of all, we read any book in the presence of light. If there is no light, we can't read the book. If the book is there, we cannot read without light. So there are two things. One, that which is light, the external, that comes from sun or the electricity in our homes in the night. That is the external source. And there is the internal source as well. That internal source is the light within our vision. If the light outside is there, but we don't have the light, our vision, that we are blind, then again it is of no use. So it should be two ways. And there is the two ways. One is hidayat from Allah, from Qoran and Majeed and Ahlul Bayt. That is these are the external testimonies. And other are the internal, that is aql, reason. So these are two binding testimonies of Allah. Al-Hujjatul Zahiri, Anbiya wal Mursaleen wal Aimma, the books, the Quran, and all revealed books. And the other, the internal, is our aql. So these two combine then to give us that light with which we can read Quran. It means that we need to read Quran in the light of what has been explained by Rasul al-Azam and Ahlul Bayt, because Rasul himself is the light who came first, and after him came Quran. When he was 40 years of age, at the time the Quran started revealing. But Rasul was 40 years before that, and he was a Rasul right from the time of his creation, not the birth, but from his creation. So we find here that what has come as Masani, Sabai Masani wal Quran, or the ayat which we have just recited from Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayat number 15, they give a corresponding and same message, in the light of which we find that what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said in the light of these ayat, these two ayat, is Aliyun al Quran وَالْقُرْآنُ مَعَ Ali. Here also, as in the both ayat, in the first Surah Al-Ma'idah we say قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ نُورٌ قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. The first is the mention of Nur, then of the Kitab. And then in Surah Al-Hijr also we find the 87th verse, Surah Al-Hijr ayat 87, that sab'a mathaniya first, that is 7 plus 7, 14 first, and then the Quran Azim second. So in both ayat, whether of Surah Al-Ma'idah and Surah Al-Hijr, we find first is the mention of light and the 14 respectively. And in the Surah Al-Ma'idah also, in the first, after mentioning of Noor, the mention of book has come. And in Surah Al-Hijr also, after making the 7 plus 7, 14, it has come Quran. Now, in the hadith here, Rasul Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is also, first is Ali, Aliyun ma'al haq, al-haqu ma'a Ali. Then the ayat 16, after Surah Al-Ma'idah ayat 15, it says, يَحْلِي بِهِ اللَّهُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ رِضْوَانَهُ سَبِيلَ السَّلَامَةِ وَيُخْرِجُهُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ بِإِذْنِهِ وَيَهْدِيهِمْ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Wherewith Allah guides all who seek His good pleasure to ways of peace and safety, and lead them out of darkness by His will. So we find here, coming out of darkness is by Allah's will. In fact, it is Allah's will on one's soil of the heart that one gets accepting, submitting to the light of Allah's guidance. And here we find that to Ahl Kitab, and from ayat number 14, the guidance is given for them, although they believe in Hazrat Musa, Hazrat Isa, for that reason they are Ahl Kitab. But still, since they do not believe in the prophethood and messengerhood of Rasul Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, for them it is making a mention that for guidance, Rasul has come with the guidance, the light for the Ahl Kitab and all humankind, that in the light of this Rasul to read Quran, and then they will understand the lineage of Adam alayhi salam till his time of the guidance, all Anbiya al Mursaleen. Then in the same way, it is at one place in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 257, when Mu'minin are already guided. We say that Mu'minin are those who are guided. But if they are guided, is there not a degree of zulumat in them? Because the ayah Sharifah says, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu. Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu. Allah is the guardian of Mu'minin. Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min al-zulumati ila an-nur. So Allah takes out zulumat from Mu'minin and bring them to Nur. The question is, after they have confessed, submitted to Nur of Islam, which zulumat was Quran is making? The question should be asked, no? What is the zulumat in after confessing Islam? So we find, if you go into its details and historical data of the subject, we will find these are those Mu'minin, like those Ahl Kitab who came up to Hazrat Isa, or those who stopped at Hazrat Musa, like Jews and Christians who stopped at Hazrat Isa. They had the guidance, the light of Hazrat Musa, Hazrat Isa, respectively, for Jews and Christians respectively. But they did not have light of Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was that zulumat with them. And after Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find the same, that those who came up to Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they got the guidance from Adam alayhi salam till Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the question arises that after Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as after Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Isa, Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the light. After Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the light, and on whom Muslims have to come to evade out, to remove the zulumat. So that is the zulumat of not accepting the genuine successor, genuine Imam, who is among the Sabani al-Masani, among the 7 plus 7, 14. One is Rasulullah Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the other 13 Masumin alayhi salam, who are Hazrat Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Mawlatina Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha, and Aimah alayhi salam. So this is the Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. So in the light of this, we find that in the light of these ayat which we have just mentioned, and then in the very hadith sharif, Aliyun ma'al haq, while halaqu ma'ali, then Aliyun ma'al Quran, al-Quran ma'al Ali. So don't we find that Shia'ism is the natural outcome of Quran, Shia'ism is the natural outcome of Islam, Shia'ism is not the natural outcome of Hadith Sharif. Hadith Sharif of Rasulullah. For Quran Majeed, the ayat which we have quoted to trace out the natural outcome of Islam as Shia'ism are the ayat of Surah Al-Hijr 87 and Surah Al-Ma'idah ayat 15 and Surah Al-Baqarah ayat number 257. If we go into Tafseer, the famous and well-known and well-received Mufassir in Urdu language, ALLAMAH Sayyid Ali NAQI Marhum, also has in one of his majlis has recited on the subject of ayat number 15 of Surah Al-Ma'idah that this Noor which has come first is the Noor of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. With this we end up with our present episode 24, and inshallah we will continue on these lines. This was on the 7th of December 2021 Anno Domini AD. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajum wa sahil makhrajum wa shunna mahum wa rzuqna shafa'atum. This was in light just to produce from Quran and Hadith whatever is accepted by all Sunni brothers, Sunni ulama of great repute, of high repute. Even their Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and Imam Nasai's work on Ikhtisasul Amirul Mu'minin, Qasasul Amirul Mu'minin, special cases of Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Talib alayhi salam, or the book of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal on the subject of Tafdeel Amirul Mu'minin, Fadail Amirul Mu'minin. One can read them in Arabic or Urdu, or I think they are translated also in the English language. So Aimah fiqh of one of the Imams of the 4 Sunni Mujtahideen Aimah, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, and among the Sahih Sitta compilers of Ahadith, we see Imam Tirmidhi, Imam Nasai. They have also compiled and written book on Fadail Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. In the light of all this, what we can find is the Noor, the light which we have just said, pertain after Rasulullah are Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad in the entire Ummah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad farajahum. Inshallah, we'll continue on this line. Till then, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Wa sahil makhrajahum wa ahshurna ma'ahum wa rzuqna shafa'atahum. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahumma kun li waliyaka al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم اجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وأتباعه وشيعته والراضين بفعله والذابين عنه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم.